Where do you even start when trying to pick music for your bouquet toss and your cake cutting at your wedding? Don't stress, this is really easy and you can have a lot of fun with it. Picking the music for your wedding ceremony and your first dance song can be stressful because those are really important moments that you're going to treasure forever. Now, the bouquet toss and cake cutting at your wedding, a little bit more lighthearted, so you can have a lot of fun when picking the songs for them. If you're only here to find a quick good song for your bouquet toss and cake cutting, I'll leave a timestamp in the description below so you can skip right to those songs. And part of me is starting to wonder if you even need a special song anymore for your cake cutting, but we'll talk more about that in a second. First, let's talk about your bouquet toss. How a bouquet toss normally works is the DJ or host invites the bride down to the dance floor holding her bouquet, hence the name, and he also invites all of the single women attending the wedding to the dance floor as well. Now, before we even jump ahead, make sure there's going to be enough single females at your wedding to make this work. There's nothing worse than a DJ getting on the microphone saying, "Let's get all the single ladies to the dance floor," and it's like one 14-year-old girl, and everyone's just kind of staring going, what do we do now? So if you are going to do a bouquet toss, just make sure you have at least a handful of single ladies who will participate in this so everyone doesn't look stupid. So the tradition goes, the bride throws the bouquet over her shoulder and whichever lady catches it, just, for fun, it's an old wives' tale, is the next to get married. So it can be really lighthearted, it's a lot of fun, it's silly, so when it comes to picking a song for your bouquet toss, the sky's the limit. You can really use anything here. As long as it's fun, kind of upbeat, even a little silly and cheesy, those songs all work perfect for a bouquet toss. A couple of musical staples that always work well for a bouquet toss, of course, Beyonce, Single Ladies. Dynamite by Tayo Cruz always gets people excited and gets their hands in the air. Marry You by Bruno Mars, which is really a good selection for almost any specialty moment in your wedding. And since it's going to be all girls on the dance floor, Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Don't think about it too much. Pick a song you like that's fun. Throw the bouquet over your shoulder, have somebody catch it, and have some fun with it. Now let's talk about your cake cutting. And I do have some thoughts on this, on if you even need a specialty song for a cake cutting anymore. But we'll talk more about that here in just a second. Here's a couple of songs that always work well for your cake cutting. Love and Marriage, made famous by Married with Children. Another Bruno Mars song, Just the Way You Are. And this is a cute one, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch by the Four Tops. Now, why do I say you might not even need a special song for your cake cutting? The more weddings I've been DJing and hosting lately, I found that the cake cutting really isn't a focal point of weddings anymore. Now, if you have one of those weddings with a giant 6-tier cake, don't get mad at me. You can absolutely play a song and make it a spectacle and a showcase and a special moment at your wedding. But for the most part, I've found lately that cake cuttings are really between the bride, the groom, the videographer, and the photographer. And maybe a parent watches, maybe grandma's watching. But for the most part, people don't really pay attention anymore. It doesn't mean it's not a special moment, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't document it with pictures and video. It just means that I find more and more guests aren't really paying attention. So with that being said, I've seen brides and grooms do their big grand entrance and go right into the cake and cut it and get a couple of pictures and then go to their first dance or to dinner, speeches, things like that. I've also had brides and grooms do it really quick after dinner. We'll just make a quick announcement. The bride and groom are now going to cut your cake if you want to check that out. Something like that, right? Bride and groom walk over to the table, cut their cake, maybe put a little piece on each other's noses, and that's pretty much it. I just don't think it's a big enough spectacle for everyone to watch where you stop down the music, you make a big announcement, you play a special song, the bride and groom walk over. I just feel like that's a little bit too much production for, just more of an intimate moment, really. Doesn't mean you can't make it a big moment, but don't feel like you have to. If you're getting stressed out about, the reception music and the entrance music and the ceremony music and this, that, and blah, 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 don't worry about the cake cutting. And that's really the whole point of the name of this series. Just cut the cake. It really isn't a big deal. Pick whatever song you want, cut the cake, and get on to the more fun parts of your wedding, right? So the simple short answer for both your bouquet toss and your cake cutting, pick something fun and upbeat. Pick any song you want, but don't stress too much. It's really not a big deal what song you pick. If you like it, go for it. On next week's episode, we're going to talk about if your DJ or band should take requests from guests at your wedding and if they should play them or not. It seems like it's a simple answer, but there's always a couple of things to watch out for. We'll dig into that deeper next week because planning a wedding can be a lot, but you shouldn't get stuck on those little details. Just cut the cake.